Welcome to Planning Your Career, brought to you by Ballyfermot Training Centre. I'm Sharon, Coventry. Have you ever planned a holiday or an event? How much time did you spend planning it? If you're like me, you'll probably have spent many evenings browsing the internet, looking at the different websites and TripAdvisor, because you want to get the best out of your time. We want to get the most out of our 2-week holiday, or week, whatever it is. So we plan our excursions, we plan where we're staying, and we plan how we're going to get there. I'd like you to stop and think. How much time do you spend planning your life? This is a question I ask many students, and we rarely seem to stop and spend time to plan what it is we really want out of our life. It's far too easy to drift through life, going from place to place, job to job. But if we were to do this on holidays, we know we wouldn't get as much out of it. So why don't you take time, maybe 20 minutes today, with a cup of tea or coffee and a notepad and pen, and plan what it is you want out of your life. On average, people will spend over 50 years in employment as the new retirement age is reaching 70. This means that at 40, we still have 30 years of a career ahead of us. At 50, we still have 20 years. It's never too late to stop and change and think, am I doing what I really want to do? I often find young people in their early 20s who may have done a particular job for a couple of years and feel that's the only track that they can take, when in fact that's only been such a small piece of their working lives. So never feel that just because you've done something for a few years that that's what you're stuck with. Stop and evaluate and check if that's what you want to do. Brilliant. If not, why put yourself through it? Look at options. The world's your oyster. All you have to do is decide what it is that you want to do and then work out how to get there. Ideally, if you could be anything, what would you want to be? This is often a question that I ask children, and they can answer this with ease because they're not inhibited. But even in our late teens, early 20s and so on, we get inhibited by our experience to date and again kind of feel the constraints of that. Think about, what do you enjoy? If you manage to do a job that you actually evolves around something that you enjoy, you're going to be far better at it and you're going to come across so much better in the interview. You'll be more enthusiastic and show a genuine interest in the job at hand. Here are just some of the career options that are available to you. On the careerportals.ie website, you'll find over 900 different career options. As I say, these are just some of them, and even behind each of these is a dozen different sub-options within that. For example, administrator, not just office administrator, could be administrator in a medical department, estate agents, and so on. Once you've made that decision as to what it is that you actually want to do, this is how we're going to go by getting you there. So first of all, you're deciding what you want to do. And as I said, that is often the most difficult thing to do. Try not to look back on life and think, oh, I wish I had done this. I wish I'd done that course. I wish I'd got a career in a certain profession. Take the chance now. You've got one life, go for it. Then you need to look at, what do you have to do in order to get there? So I would suggest Googling that type of job or job specs for it on the different job websites and seeing what is it that they're looking for. And then that's where you're starting your plan. That's where you're going to form the ladder and you'll know the steps to take in order to get there. Then the first thing you're going to do is to look at the first step on the ladder and see what that is. Is it a case that you need some experience? Maybe you need training, and hopefully that's where we can help you too. Think about, how long will it take? Will it take a few weeks, months, maybe even years? But in the long run and over the length of time that we're in the workforce, it'll probably only be a very small part of it. So take that chance. And then, when are you going to start? Are you going to start today? Are you going to take the bull by the horns? Maybe you're going to wait till Monday morning and then you're going to attack it. But have a start date in mind and make sure it happens. Now that you know what job that you want to apply for, let's have a look at how to find that ideal job. People tend to make a very similar mistake. They tend to either go onto the jobs.ie, the jobs boards as we call them, on the internet, or to recruitment agencies. And they think that by doing that they're getting a really good wide job search done. When in fact that's the route that most people take, but you're actually only hitting 10% of the jobs market. If you have a look at this chart, you'll see that 45% of the jobs being advertised today are actually on social media. So that's your LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, etc. 30% of the jobs being advertised are on companies' own websites because companies want you to come and find them. They want you to seek them out. They don't want to be posting jobs on jobs boards where they're going to have thousands of replies that they have to sift through. And often people don't even know who they're sending off their responses to. They have somebody within their own company who can easily put up a job notification on their own website, and it also saves them on recruitment fees. 12% of today's jobs are actually through referrals, so make sure to keep in contact with people who you've worked with, trained with, etc. 5% are through recruitment agencies, 5% on jobs boards, so only 1 in 20 jobs, and 3% are in the traditional vein of the newspaper. So if you're going to spend time on a job search, make sure to use your time wisely and to the most effect. Another important thing to do is to pay close attention to the job spec, because basically the job spec is the employer's checklist of what they are looking for. They've taken the time to put this together and to tell you exactly what they need. So I'd always suggest that you print this off and underline the keywords. Then make a table with their keywords on one side and how and where you've demonstrated those skills in the past. Another reason why I'd suggest printing these out and creating a table like that is because it will help you not only create your CV and your cover letter, but it will also help you in the interview itself. Because basically, they're giving you the answers. They're giving you the answers that they want to hear. So your CV should reflect these words, and even for yourself afterwards, I would suggest that you use that list, have a read over your CV, and check how many of those words you'd be able to tick off yourself. Your CV then should entail the following key areas. Your personal details, so that's your name, address and contact details. A summary or objective, basically a few lines saying where you're coming from, what skills you've obtained, and what you hope to achieve. Any relevant training and education, including the dates and where you've achieved these. Your employment history, as above. Additional skills, so any other skills that you might have, be it first aid, another language, driver's license, etc. Achievements, any promotions you may have got, or perhaps even any sporting, educational or other achievements. Your hobbies and interests, these are always good icebreakers in the interview and can often help if you're a member of a GAA club, football club, golf club, etc. because people may be able to vouch for you. And also references. And when you're going to put down references, try not to say available on request, as the HR department much prefer when you're able to give the details, and it also gives the impression that you're not trying to hide anything. Before using somebody as a reference, I would always suggest that you pick up the phone, give them a quick call, especially if you haven't spoken to them in a couple of years, and refresh their minds and say, hi, Pat, I'm just wondering how are you, how are the kids, etc. And I'm going for a job and I would like to put you down as a reference. Would that be okay with you? By doing this, you're A, getting their permission, but also when the caller rings them to ask for a reference about you, that they'll remember who you are. There's nothing worse than ringing looking for a reference for somebody and the referee doesn't even remember who they are. So little things like that can go a long way. And contour. Highlight the things that will interest them. Remember, it's not about everything you've done, it's about showing them what you have that they're looking for. So make sure to bring those things through. Sometimes it may be something in relation to first aid, for example, and although that may have only taken up a tiny percentage of your time, say working in a bar, filling out an accident report, if that's something that's important to them, make sure to put that high on the list of duties and responsibilities that you've had. And also sometimes less is more, as they may get distracted with all the other stuff that they're not looking for, and what they are looking for may get hidden. So bear that in mind and try to read your CV from the reader's perspective. And when you have all of those elements together, remember, we're here in the training centre. There's lots of staff here who can help you with various aspects of your career, as well as career planning, CV, courses, etc. So why not call or email us today? And the very best of luck with planning the future that you want.